Hello, guys, and welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, your favorite sports channel, the Chidi Asa Takes. And today we are diving into some games tomorrow. Well, two in particular. And then we just talk about some rumors that have been coming up on some news regarding Chelsea. So, first of all, let's start with the African Nations Cup semi finals. We have the third place game tomorrow, and the finals. The first game is going to be between Egypt and Nigeria. That's a third place match. So basically, both teams lost in the semifinals. Egypt lost by a lone goal to Senegal, and of course, Nigeria lost via penalty shootout. So tomorrow is going to be an interesting game because these two teams, of course, coming from the group stages, I would say Nigeria was probably the only team so far in the AFCON, along with Morocco and maybe Senegal, that haven't lost any game. Now, granted, Nigeria did lose the semifinal match against Morocco, but it was more like penalties. And when it comes to penalties, I said, okay, well, you didn't beat us. You had to go through by penalties because we know penalties a 50-50 chance. All right. So, Egypt and Nigeria, what are the histories these two teams got? Statistically, they've played, what, about 23 matches or something like that. Um, Basically, oh wait, maybe I'm overstretching that, but they've met several times. All right, and statistically, it looks like Nigeria has had the edge against Egypt. So the last five games, look at this. In 2016, it was the African Nations Cup qualifier. Nigeria played against Egypt at home. Nigeria played at home, and that game ended in a 1-1 draw. Then the second leg, it was a 1-0 win. Egypt taking that. Then the next time they met was an international friendly. In 2019, Nigeria won that game by one goal also. And of course, we remember it was Paul Onachu that scored that goal. In 2022, Nigeria did beat Egypt again in the African Nations Cup group stage by one goal, and it was Kelechi Iheanacho that scored that goal. So the last time we met Egypt was in 2025, just last year, December 16, and that game ended in 2-1. Egypt won that game by 2 goals to one. But if you look at that lineup in that game, the Nigerian side started with Stanley Nwabali, and you had Chidozia Waziem, Igor Ogbu, Frank Onyeka, Zaidu Sanusi. You had Bright Osai Samuel, Ebenezer Akin Samiro. You had Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Rafael Onyedika. You had in the attackers, you had Paul Onachu and Chidera Ejuke. So substitute was Wilfred Ndidi. You had Alexi Wobi, Francis Uzoho, and of course Usman Mohammed. The coach did make substitutions, and let me see, it was Shemi Ajayi came in, Salim Lawal. You had Bruno Onyembachi also coming as a substitute, Cyril Desires, and I think it was Ademola Lukman that came in as a substitute. But Egypt went away with that goal. Granted, Egypt did not have Mohamed Salah. I think Mohamed Salah did not play that game. Let me make sure here. Yeah, Mohamed Salah did not play that game, but they still went away with 2 goals to 1. And of course, that was a friendly game. I didn't really think anything about that game because, of course, it was a friendly game. But so far in the tournament, it's been different because Nigeria have been able to win more matches. They've been solidly compact. They, have good ball control. They pass the ball around very well, and the attack has been really, really solid. So it's gonna take a lot for Egypt to win this game, but honestly, I expect Nigeria to go ahead and win this game. So if you look at it head to head in the last 5 games, Nigeria has had more wins and we've scored more goals. Let me see, 14 goals so far scored by Nigeria compared to 9 for Egypt. Uh, but we've also conceded goals, which is about 10 goals conceded. Let me see, we had more assists, more goals against. And honestly, the game tomorrow, I think we need to approach it with all seriousness because it will do good for not just the players, some of them who are just coming into the Super Eagles for the first time, but also for the country. Okay? So I'm looking at that game scoreline. I'm seeing 3-1, 3-1 to Nigeria. That will be my prediction. And yeah, then the other game is the big final between Senegal and host Morocco. That game, I cannot tell you who's going to win, but I'll probably be rooting for Senegal. Okay, that's what I'm going to be rooting for. Morocco, they've done very well in this competition. Fine, they are the host, but they've had a lot of advantages. All right, and I'm not going to say more about that. All right, so go read the headlines and everything about, the officiating and so many things, so many errors, and I'm not going to get into that. All I know is that tomorrow's game, Nigeria versus Egypt, Nigeria's going to win that game 3 goals to 1, and Senegal, I'm going to give it to Senegal to become the African Nations Cup champions. All right, so that's that about Nations Cup. Game starts 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Nigeria, Egypt, and then the game against Senegal and the game between Senegal and Morocco is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now let's talk about Chelsea. Obviously, since the game against Arsenal, a lot have been talked about our performance, who is not in the team. Of course, we found out that there's been some kind of virus that has affected not only the players but some staff members. So the game against Brentford tomorrow is a must-win, and we have to win that game. Listen, Liam Rosinia, he's coming to this club, and he has given us some kind of idea that he is mentally ready for the challenge. He is looking for the challenge and he accepts it. And everything coming out of him is, I want to win. I want to win. The next game is the big game. The next game is the big game. That's how we want to see managers talk. But is that how the players are going to meet up on the field? So tomorrow's game is going to be very, very crucial to not only our chances of qualifying for the Champions League, but how we can get our season going on again after the disaster in December and then the loss in the first leg against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So for tomorrow, I really want Chelsea to come out and fight. I expect 1 or 2 players to come back. Now, the news I'm getting so far is saying that basically it's possible that Malo Gusto may not play. Malo Gusto may not be able to play tomorrow, but I think the coach should have found out maybe sometime this evening after the final trainings or something. But Malo Gusto may not be playing. We do have Cole Palmer back, and we have Reece James back. So granted, they came back and they started light training and they were training. So I really, really hope that those two guys who play in the game tomorrow. Now, I don't have a lineup or formation for you. All I know is that I'm going to say exactly what the coach said, which is I don't have a first team or preferred player or second team or second B player. I want everybody to fight. I want everybody to fight for their position. This is good because there are some teams whereby you say, oh, this is the first 11. And basically, other players consider, okay, I'm never going to be chosen. Even if I work hard on a training ground and I do perform on the field play, I'm not going to be chosen because he has his preferred 11. But what the coach is saying is that I want everybody to compete for their position because I'm going to pick you based on your performance. What that means is that everybody in the team, everybody in the team have a chance. They have a chance to perform, show the coach, hey coach, what look at what I'm doing. Look at me. Listen. And on the match day, they get chosen. You perform well, the coach picks you again. If you mess up, hey, the other guy is already waiting because he's been waiting for that chance. And the fighting spirit needs to be there. We need to beat Brentford tomorrow. I don't care. I know they're above us in the league right now. They're currently fifth position in the league. And I think they're sitting at 33 points. We are sitting at 31 points. So we definitely need to beat them tomorrow and start bringing back our season again because honestly, it's been rough for a lot of Chelsea fans. And tomorrow, I believe tomorrow is the day for the big protest in London. So Chelsea fans are protesting the club hierarchy, how they've been running the club. Basically, they believe a lot of Chelsea fans, and I believe also that the club is running a system whereby they only recruit certain players that they get to sell for a profit, and that is not what we want as a football club. So we need to, not only, I mean, Rosinho needs to not only make sure that he's winning games that could at least appease the fans, because I'm telling you, the fans will not be coming out to, the fans will not be coming out to protest if Chelsea is on the first or second position on the table. They're not going to come out to do that. They're not going to come out if Chelsea beats Arsenal in the semi-final Carabao Cup. They're not going to come out to protest. They'll be happy because they look at it and say, okay, we are winning, we are moving forward. If Chelsea wins the trophy, I bet you the fans are not going to come out to protest. When Enzo Maresca came into the club, okay, a lot of people already, just as they're doing, just like right now that we have Leon Rosinha, when Enzo Maresca came in, nobody believed he was going to be able to achieve anything. But guess what? When he started winning big games, taking the club higher up the table, Chelsea fans started shouting, "We have our club back. We have our club back." But of course, the hierarchy comes out, and because of some bad results, they go ahead and fire him mid-season. So just the same way Enzo Maresca went through the process, the trial with the Chelsea fans, Liam has to do the same thing, and he needs to do that as quickly as possible. And that starts by beating Brentford tomorrow. Going forward in Champions League, winning the rest of the two games, showing fearless performance, going out there and giving every single breath, every single sweat towards making sure that you win every single game that you play henceforth. That's the only thing that's going to change. That's the only thing that's going to make the Chelsea fans be happy again because we love to win. We love to win. And when we are not winning, we feel like, hey, what's going on? This is not us. We are not Arsenal or Manchester United. This is Chelsea, for Christ's sake. So honestly, tomorrow we need to beat Brentford and show a good performance. All right. So with those players coming back, I think we're gonna have a strong bench, because we saw in the game against Charlton and even in the game against Arsenal, some players did come in that performed very well, but we just didn't have a good bench for that second half. You see, when Arsenal made changes, it clearly shows the depth of the squad that they have. Okay, you had players, Martinelli coming in, who would have started, but he comes in as a substitute, and he equally has been on fire this season. So tomorrow's game is a definite win for Chelsea. Anything like a draw or loss, you know what? I'm not even gonna say this because a draw will look like a loss, and that's gonna make the fans even more upset and get much more angry. So Liam Rosinha needs to find a way to beat Brentford tomorrow. They're not a, and this is a London derby. They are not a small team, but I think we have the power, we have the players, and we have everything in our squad to beat Brentford tomorrow. Okay, and just a last thing right here is in terms of a player who is looking to exit the club. Tyreek George. Did you guys notice that he has not played the game for since December? So I won't be surprised if Tyreek George decides to leave or go on a loan. The club might prefer to sell him for a full profit. All right. So the story says the 19-year-old made a notable impact towards the end of the last season under former manager Enzo Maresca, but has not been included in any of Chelsea's last 12 Premier League matchday squads. Right. And last season, Chelsea signaled their intentions at the end of the summer transfer window by accepting $22 million bid from Fulham on deadline day, only for the move to collapse in the final moment. So what happened was, you know, we had accepted the $22 million bid, but it collapsed. You know, we had this issue with Conor Gallagher. Was it Conor? No, we had the issue with Liam Delap getting injured, and of course, we had the issue with uh, Nicholas Jackson. So the club just decided to cancel the bid because they want to make sure they have some people to back him, to back the striker up, which was João Pedro. All right. So I don't I think most likely he's gonna leave the club, but these days with the way the Chelsea hierarchy has been managing the club, you can never say because Matt Gui, he was already in he already played the game for I believe that was Sunderland, and all of a sudden, hey, we canceled the contract. Come back. Almost happened to Nicholas Jackson, but he was already completely, in his mind, nope, I'm not going back. And the rumor was that he had to pay some money in order to complete the loan move. So honestly, uh, I think he's one player who might be leaving. And of course, the other news is that PSG is looking at Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez. He's one of the senior players in the team now. Yeah, Chelsea is a young team, but we're starting to have some senior players who are maybe 24, 25 years old. But Enzo Maresca is on the radar of PSG. That was the rumor today or the news today. Nothing really concrete. Enzo has a contract up to 2032, I believe. So if PSG is going to buy him and Chelsea are willing to sell, which I hope they don't, then it's not going to be a small fee. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I'm looking forward to the game between Chelsea and Brentford tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll start a win. And then, of course, the game between Nigeria and Egypt. That's going to be fascinating. All right. But there's some other crackers in the Premier League. You have a load of crackers tomorrow to watch. Manchester Derby between Manchester United and Manchester City. And, of course, we have a game between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. Is Arsenal going to fumble? We don't know. But hey, they've been one of the best teams in the season so far. Nottingham Forest, not where they were last season, but hey, they might put a fight. Right now, any team that can stop Arsenal from winning the Premier League, I don't care. I don't care if they're freaking Everton or whatever. I just want to make sure that Arsenal is giving the fight because I don't want them to get this title so easily. Okay. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. And do me a favor, subscribe right now if